By 1970, the United States and the Soviet Union were locked into a standoff where a single miscalculation could trigger a nuclear exchange. Both sides were desperate to uncover what the other was hiding in the dark. American intelligence caught wind of a newly constructed Soviet nuclear submarine base in the far east of Russia, packed with a fleet ready to deploy. Positioned in the remote, rugged region of Petropavlovsk, the facility offered the Soviets a clear, strategic launching point for a strike against the US mainland. But observing the base from afar wasn't enough. Satellite photos could show the ships, but couldn't read the minds of the commanders. And sending human operatives into such a heavily guarded, isolated location was a guaranteed suicide mission. To understand exactly what weapons were housed there and how ready they were to fire, the Americans needed to listen to the base's internal conversations. They had to stop looking at the exterior of the base and figure out a way to break directly into its communication network. The problem landed on the desk of Captain James Bradley, the director of undersea warfare. His job was to find a blind spot in the Soviet defenses. Bradley knew the outpost in Petropavlovsk had to receive orders from the main headquarters in Vladivostok, over 1,000 miles away. Using standard radio frequencies was out of the question. Anyone could intercept them. He recalled his childhood along the Mississippi River, where physical underwater cables were used to bridge long distances securely. He reasoned the Soviets would have done exactly the same thing to link their bases. This map shows the logical route, a physical telephone line running straight through the icy Sea of Okhotsk. But the sea covers hundreds of thousands of square miles. Searching for a single wire on the pitch-black ocean floor seemed impossible. Bradley had another memory from the river. Wherever there was a submerged line, signs were posted on the shore warning fishing boats not to drop their nets. He bet the Russian coastline would have those exact same warnings. Based on nothing more than a childhood memory and a logical guess, the CIA and the Navy authorized Operation Ivy Bells, sending an American nuclear submarine directly into Soviet territory. After a month of navigating under the radar, the USS Halibut slipped into the Sea of Okhotsk. For over a week, the crew slowly traced the rocky, frozen shoreline, scanning every inch of the coast through a periscope. Against all odds, they spotted the precise warning signs Bradley had predicted, marking the cable's exact entry point into the sea. The submarine dropped anchor, and a team of specialized divers plunged 400 feet into the freezing, pressurized void to physically locate the wire. They clamped a custom-built recording device directly onto the line. Instead of cutting into the wire, which would have triggered an immediate alarm, it used induction to capture the electric pulses radiating through the casing. If a Soviet maintenance crew ever pulled the cable to the surface, the tap was rigged to automatically detach and sink out of sight. The operation worked perfectly. Every month, the Halibut retrieved the raw intelligence tapes and shipped them to the National Security Agency in Maryland. Inside, an analyst fluent in Russian named Ronald Pelton was assigned the task of decoding and translating the conversations. For 10 years, the US government listened to high-ranking Soviet commanders openly discuss the limits of their nuclear arsenals and the deployment schedules of their submarines, allowing American forces to quietly tail them the moment they left port. Then, in 1981, American surveillance satellites caught something alarming. A cluster of Soviet naval ships was hovering directly over the exact coordinates of the underwater tap. The US dispatched a recovery sub immediately, but they were too late. The device had been pulled. The feed was dead. Finding a black box on the ocean floor in the middle of nowhere by accident was virtually impossible. Only a handful of American officers even knew it existed. Someone had given the Soviets the map. The leak traced back to the man tasked with reading the transcripts. Ronald Pelton had lost his job at the NSA, his marriage had fallen apart, and he was buried under $60,000 of personal debt. Out of money and desperate, Pelton walked directly into the Soviet embassy in Washington, offering to sell his secrets. He sat down with KGB officer Vitaly Yurchenko and handed over the details of Operation Ivy Bells for a payout of just $35,000. The operation was burned, and Pelton's identity remained hidden from the Americans. But 4 years later, while on assignment in Rome, Yurchenko abruptly slipped away from his KGB handlers and defected to the US. Sitting in a CIA safe house, Yurchenko revealed what he knew about the mole. He didn't have a name, but he told interrogators the traitor was a former NSA analyst with red hair. That single detail was enough. The FBI quickly narrowed down their records and matched Pelton's profile to a wiretapped phone call. They arrested him. He confessed almost immediately and was handed 3 life sentences. The military had spent millions engineering a flawless machine capable of surviving the crushing depths of the ocean and evading an entire superpower's naval defenses. But the operation collapsed entirely because of the one factor they couldn't engineer out of the system: a single man who simply ran out of money.